Welcome to Grunge Rock Warehouse, and we are live. I want to welcome Stephen Schnee and DC Toontime to the show. We're just going to have a little chat, a little discussion. We're going to talk Schnee TV, and we talk music. So let's get started.
Grant is changing the world one track at a time on Grunge Rock Warehouse.
Hey, welcome everybody. We are hanging out here in the mid-century den. We've got our fireplace. I've got two of my friends here. Yeah, DC, warm your hands up on that fireplace.
Yeah,
feels great.
Well,
feels great.
To be quite honest, it's hotter than hell here today. So,
yeah, I know. That's the last place I really want to be right now.
But it wouldn't be disgraced for like a Christmas show.
Oh my God, it sets the mood right there.
It does set the mood.
Yeah, see, the interesting thing about it is when I do this is ski lodge, I always, even though the pictures don't really say it, I always try to create each show as if it's cold outside. You know what I mean? Or at least very comfortable. So even when you're sitting in 105-degree weather, the whole concept of that show, this is ski lodge, is, you know, you're sitting around, you know, it's drizzling or it's snowing outside, you know, and you're gathered around in a ski lodge drinking martinis and eating nuts from a bowl in the middle of the table.
Eating grape nuts out of a bowl.
That'd be a hell of a lousy party. Grape nuts.
I know.
A bowl
I'm
of
not
grape
sold
nuts.
on that. Well, anyway, welcome everybody. I see we got 21 people here. That's a good start.
So right.
Hello, everybody.
Go. Okay, then, Schnee TV. Well, we're here to talk about Schnee TV. I've got, of course, DC and Mr. Schnee here. I want to thank everybody for popping in tonight. Everybody, look. Hey, Ernest.
Hey.
This is going to be about the vaudeville show.
Yes.
Well, it's hard to keep DC quiet about that because that's all
I'll
he
do my
talks
best
about.
to refrain, but no promises, folks.
We're just going to sit here and chat. I'm sure we'll talk music.
Yeah, I did want to say that I'm just going to let people in on a little secret. It's not going to be a vaudeville show. It's going to be a vaudeville channel. 24 hours of pure vaudeville. You're going to have the Rudy Valley hour. It's going to be incredible.
It's just going to be off the charts.
Yes.
You know, I just got that intro done about 5 minutes ago. And I didn't get a chance to get my martini together. Or my captain's hat. I was going to wear the captain's hat tonight because I felt, why not wear the captain's
It's got
hat?
a boring ass water here, but we'll keep the conversation spicy.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
Spicy. Oh, I forgot. Well, we'll talk that. We're going to talk music too because I got some stuff to share too that I got in the mail today, Schnee.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
I got a whole bunch of shit. Plus, I went to Half Price Books and I got something pretty cool. We'll just share that later. But for now, let's start talking about Schnee TV and what Stephen Schnee has coming up on his channel. He's been a busy boy. Of course, he had the Ski Lodge show, which will be premiering tomorrow again. There's a Ski Lodge for tomorrow, correct, Steve?
There is a ski lodge tomorrow. It's usually every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and that's live. The show that I do on for Ski Lodge, those are pre-recorded music, and I actually put them up on Mixcloud, and so they're up on Mixcloud usually like the weekend before. So like the Saturday or Sunday before, sometimes even just the day before. And then I play them live. And we have such a great group of people come in and keep it positive, keep it uplifting. And people just like Grunge Rock Warehouse, you know, I see a lot of people joking with each other and having a really good time. And that's kind of what Ski Lodge is, you know, without all the heavy metal.
Right. Well, we don't do that.
That's a
much
great
heavy
thing
metal.
because there's enough jackasses out there in the world that you're going to encounter on a daily basis. If you can escape to a music oasis like the Warehouse or the Ski Lodge,
Right.
Your life will be enriched tenfold.
Keeping
All
it
good
positive
people.
is
All
keeping
good
it
people.
Positive. Yes. We're a community here, and we're a music community. We all get together and talk music.
Yeah.
I've told this before. I don't have an outlet to talk music. This is my outlet. Everybody here, we're all here together to talk music. Hey, it's not like 1970, 1983 when you could go to the record store and hang out. Well, you can, but you know
not the same.
You guys know what I mean. Back in '83, I was hanging out at the guitar store all day, rapping music. That was
not
even
bad
better.
Either.
Well, you can rap guitars and you can rap music. It's like
unless you had to listen to every aspiring guitarist's version of Stairway to Heaven. They get a little old after a while.
No, but there's this one guy, and he passed away that was into metal, and he was a big boy. He could play really good, but he also loved drinking, and that's what killed him because he really liked to drink. But he was a good guitar player. But he was like a Yngwie clone.
Oh, okay. Speed is the key.
I was like, I said, Jesus. His sperm count must have been really low, too, when he played like that.
He took it all out through the instrument of his guitar.
But that's like a bazillion years ago. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody here. Let's get started. DC, how are you, for one? How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm fine. If there's anything that sounds like the beginnings of World War III, it's because we have all three grandsons staying over tonight. So my wife's going to do her best to keep them upstairs, but no promises.
Well, that's all right. We've had the grandson on the show before.
Yeah, we've had the oldest one, Tyler, on.
He thought his eyes were all big, and
oh, he was excited. He still talks about that being on the show. He was on the show.
Because
showed
Grandpa's
his
on the
peanut
show.
butter snacks. Yeah.
And of course, Schnee's here. Of course, I know we've said that, but Schnee.
Yes.
We've talked about Ski Lodge a bit. Tell us about Schnee TV and what prompted you to start a music channel like that. I mean, it's still on your YouTube channel, but what was it that inspired you to do this?
Well, the whole premise of Schnee TV, I guess you could say it started with Ski Lodge. It started with Grant's Rock Warehouse, where there was a community of people, and a community of people that loved music, and a lot of them liked to look outside of the norm, outside of what was constantly being talked about, what was constantly, you're going to get the Beatles, you're going to get jazz, you're going to get Zeppelin, you're going to get things like that. And all that stuff is wonderful. I won't diss any artist on my channel. Well, I mean, not on purpose. Maybe it'll slip out. But the real thing about Schnee TV is I thought, well, I've built a community on Ski Lodge, of which DC is a big part of a wonderful part, and I'm grateful for that, DC. And Grant, when Grant's not doing his shows, he comes around.
Or when DC's not doing my show, he comes over.
Slight overlap at times.
I've got DC busy this week.
Yeah, well, but we've got like 5 shows coming up at least.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch of things.
But the whole concept, though, is it got to the point where when I make my videos, just like you, Grant, it's kind of one of those things: is who's talking about this stuff? Who's talking about, Kid Creole and the Coconuts? Who's talking about, this group, that group? And Ski Lodge is rooted in basically the mid to late 60s to the early 70s. And I thought, well, there's so much out there, modern stuff that I love, and it's not getting a lot of attention, not getting a lot of press. There are labels out there, anyone from, well, no, I don't want to mention any labels because I'm sure I'm going to forget, but a lot of great indie labels, a lot of great indie artists. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? Instead of doing a radio show, which is what everybody does, I have my Mixcloud shows too. Why don't I do a video show? So I started talking to some artists.
Say hi.
Hey, there he is.
This is your middle grandson.
Middle grandson. He hasn't been
Tell him
on
who
the
you
show
are.
yet.
He's Jackson.
Jackson, you haven't been on the show yet.
He wanted to come on because his older brother was on. So now you made your
Jackson,
parents,
how
okay?
Are you? Nice to see you.
Okay, buddy.
Wow,
Yeah.
hanging out with Grandpa.
I guess we can't trust DC's wife.
No, we can't. The kids are running around.
She dropped the ball.
Amok.
I know.
She dropped the ball.
No, but I was going to say there's so much great music out there. So I started talking to artists and independent labels and said, could I play these videos on my show? And from the time that I thought about it, I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to call it. Indie music TV, this, whatever. And a couple people suggested Schnee TV. And I am not an egotistical, arrogant guy. So I hated the thought of it being called Schnee TV. But then it was just so funny because just the Schnee TV. And it rhymes, 3 rhyming words in a row. So then I asked DC if he could create a logo. And DC creates a logo. And then Robert P., who did a wonderful job with the Ski Lodge logo. And we haven't utilized DC's Ski Lodge artwork, which I would like to do for like a mug this Christmas. But DC got involved, and it just seemed like, oh wow, this is awesome. Then my brother wrote a theme song, and actually the ending theme song is what the real theme song was supposed to be. I don't know if anybody has ever paid attention. It's Wham Bam, Thank You Schnee. You're watching Schnee TV, which some of my friends told me, oh no, that's going to be, offensive to people. So I pulled that part out of the opening theme and just kept it on the closing theme. But because I thought that was funny, because I'm the last person that any female out there would want to wham bam thank you. And
come on now, come on.
What does that mean? Tube socked. What's that mean? Is that something from Porky's? What's that mean?
Is that got some kind of hip lingo that we're not privy to there, Ernesto?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I did arrive late.
But anyway, I'll wrap this up. So I had DC come up with the logo, which just blew me away. And then my brother comes up with a theme song, and then unbeknownst to me, Robert P goes to DC and says, we need a caricature of Schnee. And then they present that to me, and that blew me away. So I'm getting all these people involved. And then I don't know if anyone's paid attention to the the thumbnails. Those thumbnails.
Yeah.
Nadia D, who just showed up, she takes the logo and the caricature and creates these amazing thumbnails that just draw from the past.
Yeah, she's been knocking it out of the ballpark.
Oh.
Like every show is like a little mini masterpiece with those thumbnails.
Exactly. So to me, the show is all, and then of course I've been able to get Grant and Matthew Street on to do, some of the intros and stuff like that. I'll bring them on again. But I've had all these people be so helpful. And then when I put the show together, it's not about me presenting this. It's about all these great artists, and it's about Robert P. It's about DC. It's about Nadia. It's about my brother. It's about everybody. It's about all the people that hang out in Ski Lodge that encourage us, not just me, but encourages Grant, encourages DC to go out and do this stuff because they want to discover music. They want to hear stuff. And to me, it's just, that's what makes it exciting.
Well, I don't know if you know the whole backstory, Steve, with your caricature or your cartoon head I did, but Robert P. says, I'm trying to do this caricature of Steve, and it's just not coming together the way I envisioned it in my head. So I said, well, let me take a try at this. And I thought, we're doing kind of a retro thing with the logo, referencing MTV back in the 80s. And now let's do Steve Schnee as if he was a character on the Flintstones, minus the lion's or tiger's pelt.
Oh,
And
I want that, though. I want to see that.
You want to see with the pelt?
Yes. Yes.
Pick your animal, Steve, and I'll redo it. Okay, I'll also give you a club that you can put over your shoulder.
That's what I want to see.
The thing with Steve in this genius idea of Schnee TV is he's doing an invaluable service for folks looking for new music that's melodic and created with heart and soul, and it's not packaged for the masses and run through a variety of demographic studies and focus groups. These are just artists that are true to themselves and share a love for creating music that still remembers the importance of melody, songcraft, passion, and joy by humans for humans, I like to say.
Yeah.
And to see these videos, it's like our generation that was the first to have, MTV and have music also be visual along with audio content. Now we're getting that as adults further on down the road with bands that are indie, bands we've loved for decades but aren't on major labels, new acts, and it runs the gambit. I mean, you're not just getting power pop and melodic pop. You're getting everything from jazz-tinged pop to, your last show you had a Texas swing band.
Yeah,
that was
right.
really cool.
From Southern California.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. So hats off to Steve, along with Grant too, because Grant's doing it in a different way with kind of a different business model, shall we say. But both of you guys, hats off to you.
Different business model. There is no business model at all.
Sure there is. You guys
I just do what
plans.
I do. This is just what I do.
You see, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I admire Grant because he works a lot harder than I do, and
It's not work. This isn't work. I could do this in my sleep.
Well, no. I mean, you do a lot more than I do. I wish that I could do more. If I had. I mean, I have so much to talk about. You know that because you have so much to talk. We're never going to run out of ideas. I know there are channels out there who just go, God, what am I going to do a video about? With me, I just turn around, and see the thing about Schnee TV that I really love is it's looking towards the future. It's there's a couple videos that I've like on the last episode I featured a band from Spain, and it's like 15 years old. The video is like 15 years old, but nobody here has heard it. Then I've had, like I said, power pop. Some of the greatest stuff comes from the Spider Pop Records label. So I always have to feature stuff like that. It's just glorious, wonderful music that a lot of people don't hear. So I want to show people because I get to see, because I think with the three of us, I think with the three of us, we tend to approach all this stuff in a very similar fashion. We love the music. Let's talk about it. And that's all my shows are. Schnee TV, I don't talk much. I put the videos up. CD Junkie, I talk a lot, because I have to talk about the band. I just did one on Lindsey Buckingham. And Squid Gal. The show, most shows have been about an hour long. There's been one about 36 minutes. I'd say, just hours upon hours upon hours. And I go to the labels. I have this one gal named Bianca Ritter from Switzerland, and she's in contact with a lot of indie bands. So she's gotten me some bands. So I'm very grateful for what she does. I'm very grateful for the people that recommend artists, because there's nothing greater than someone saying, "Oh, dude, I ordered these 2 albums, or I ordered their new CD or whatever." Kelly's Heroes. I did a video for Kelly's Heroes. I created a video for them. I think it was maybe in episode 4 or 5 for a song. And then I did a CD Junkie video on Kelly's Heroes, and somebody from the UK ordered like most of their catalog from him. You know,
I purchased that album. I had purchased earlier albums by Kelly's Heroes, and then I purchased a new one based on
Kelly's Heels.
Kelly's Heels. I'm
I
thinking of a
said
movie.
Kelly's Heroes.
That's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's
Kelly's
what
Heels.
popped into my head.
It was me. No, it was me saying Kelly's Heroes, but it's Kelly's Heels. God, now someone's online looking for a band called Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah, I
No,
need to
Kelly's
give out
Heels.
some wrenches. Thank
But
you.
I mean,
if I miss somebody, please. Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
Naughty, I'll give you a wrench, but if you don't have a wrench, because I want to keep track, everybody. That's how I keep track.
Yeah. Your name came up here and it says Kelly's Heels. I don't know why I said Kelly's Heroes. I think it's because I had way too much alcohol before the show started.
A lot of these groups, I may have come by them by different methodology, because I do kind of scour around certain sites and everything and look for artists that are in my wheelhouse. But with your programming, Stephen, with Schnee TV, I mean, I didn't know that he had a new album out. I didn't know that Mark Bassino had a new album out. And I've followed his career since I used to buy tons of CDs from Not Lame 2 decades ago. That's how I first found out about Mark Bassino.
Great guy. Bruce
Bruce. I used to do a lot of artwork for Bruce as well.
Yeah.
So I'm always supportive of you guys that are getting the word out there about the music that I love, because Lord knows the major labels don't give 2 craps about it. But it's still my passion and still my favorite kind of music. You know, melodic,
Yeah, I mean,
pop.
Thing is what I've noticed, you have my shows tend to be sort of leaning towards the guitar pop, power pop, stuff like that. But I I know, Nadia, I don't drink alcohol, which is true. The thing is I want the show to have a variety of stuff. That's why I had the Dickens, which is that sort of Texas swing type thing. I'll have country rock in there. I want to put some AOR in there if I can get some good AOR, modern AOR, independent stuff. Because not everybody's going to love one style of music. Everyone's going to, people come to all of our channels for different things. I would love to focus more on AOR. Grant does a great job focusing on AOR. So it's kind of like at my, at as well as other stuff. So it's kind of like, well, I know AOR is safe with Grant. So if I forget to talk about aviary or something, I know we'll talk about aviary. Yeah.
We don't want him to get confused.
Yeah, I'm the one with the toupee.
Right.
But it's just so fun to talk about music. I have 3 groups of people that I talk music with. Number 1 is my old pop night buddies that I've known for 20, 30 years. And we get together, when we can. My Texas buddies, who these are guys that I love, that are just, I'm as close with them as I am with my pop night buddies. And when I go to Texas, I get to hang with them, and, we're still friends, online and stuff. And then this community, Grant and I share a lot of people. So the reason I wanted to come on Grant's channel, and I'm so grateful he gave me the opportunity to talk about Schnee TV, is to let some of Grant's people know, because there's a lot of people that come to Grant's channel that don't go to mine, and vice versa. So I'm always telling people to sub to Grant, or just talking about music is one of the greatest things. Sharing the passion behind it is a great joy that I experience every day. Whataburgers, yes.
That's part of it, Steve, in that
Gary's
what
one
you
of them.
present on each program is not one kind of music, but the band or the artist's approach to the music is the same. You could tell these people are really into what they're hearing in their own ears and what they're creating by whatever instrument they play and vocally and such. And it just makes the shows more fresh, that variety. Now, I might not buy every CD of an artist that you play on a given episode, but in general, I appreciate the talents, and I love the fact that I've been exposed to these new artists, and it's all good, and it all goes into the mix, and I think it makes for a more entertaining presentation myself.
Right. You know, Ernesto brings up something here. I am the CD junkie, and I've said this many times before, but I don't talk. I mean, this is my format of choice, CDs. But I'm not talking about the format. I'm talking about the music. And I think that's, Grant behind him has just a bunch of LPs. I have a hallway here that is just all the way down the hall. It's framed LPs.
Well, these are all promo posters.
Oh, well, yeah, whatever.
Well,
they're square, so they're LPs.
Well, not all of them. Marshall Crenshaw's not.
All right.
Benetard, those are all big ones. The Tubes. Come on now.
The thing I always say about vinyl as opposed to CDs is, in general, for me, CDs are more practical, but a vinyl album is a nicer artistic presentation.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't work for me, because when I'm working, I'll put 5 CDs in my CD carousel, and I'm good for a better part of 6 hours. Or, as I often do, put my iPod on shuffle play and have it go here. But to get up every 17 or 20 minutes and flip an album over, that's not going to work for me.
Wait a minute.
Days.
When you're listening to Power Pop, the albums are 12 to 15 minutes long, each side.
There you go. Even less time in between sides. So.
Yeah. So
get in and get out.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
On to the next one.
The minute you get nice and comfortable and snuggly in your chair, all of a sudden the track 5 fades away and you got to get up and
Yeah, and CDs, as Robert P. says, they are easier to mail in the CD.
Yeah, I did, and I got quite a few today.
Yeah, and what I mentioned, I think, on Doc Stream last night is, look, when the apocalypse comes and all your vinyl melts, don't come to me and listen to CDs. I'm going to be sitting here listening to CDs because they're not going to melt.
You and the cockroaches will be listening to CDs and after the apocalypse.
And when, they always bring this up for all you streamers, for everybody that abandon physical media. When we have that big solar flare and it takes out the whole infrastructure.
Yeah. I'll never
all your stuff's gone, baby.
Never abandon physical media, folks. No. But I'm an old man hollering at clouds. You don't have to pay me any mind. What the hell is he talking about? I'm firmly physical media guy.
And I'm one of those people, I don't care. I'm not going to get into that war where people go vinyl superior. I'm not going to get into that. It doesn't really matter what medium. Look at Ernesto. He listens to freaking 8-track tapes. I mean, for God's sake.
And all my vaudeville I play on the old Victrola. I got to crank that sucker up.
It doesn't matter what medium you use. Just so if you like to stream. Except
yeah, I mean,
you guys
flare
hits. I don't care.
You guys have to hear the piano roll of Dark Side of the Moon.
Just the way they played it in the old saloons in the 1880s.
Yes. CDs are a lot cheaper.
Buy
low, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody has followed my channel, I've been preaching this since the very beginning. Mm-hmm. Buy low. If records were $1, were those $8 records back down to $1, I'd be buying them. I wouldn't be buying CDs.
I want somebody to... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, buy low. Doesn't matter what the medium is. But CDs, you can get a lot of music for very little money.
Okay, somebody in the chat room, please do me a favor. There's a brand new Lindsey Buckingham called 20th Century Lindsey, which I talk about in my new Lindsey Buckingham video. And contains 3 albums and then 3 CDs of the first 3 albums and a bonus disc of rarities. Go to Amazon or wherever you buy your things and look at the prices and let us know the difference between the CD price and the vinyl price. And then that'll be the answer of why I buy CDs. Right. Hey, Bryn.
Ernesta says Spotify is not going to be around forever. What does that mean?
Well, if you're just listening through a streaming service, and the thing is, any artist or any music entity that owns a certain artist catalog can pull it at any time from Spotify or any of the other services. And if that's one of your favorite artists, you no longer have access to that catalog. So physical media, you own it, you'll always have it, and hopefully always have the ability to play it somehow.
I was at Half Price Books. I've got a reel-to-reel. No, I don't. I bought a reel-to-reel of the Byrds, Notorious Bird Brothers. Because I had never seen it before. So I bought it. So I've got a Notorious Bird Brothers reel-to-reel tape.
If you decide to find something out in the wild that you never come across, you almost are compelled to really buy it just to have it.
But
agreed.
You know, just the final thing about Schnee TV before we go off on this thing is a lot of people will complain that I'm concerned about getting more subs. And I just want to explain one more time. It is not about me. I don't need more people looking at me. I'm never going to make money on my channel, so it's not about that. What it is, and this all boils down to, if I've got 30 people watching, let's say 30 people watching Schnee TV, you know, 2 or 3 of those people are going to be exposed or are going to really, really like something, you know, and they're going to go out and buy it. But those bands deserve so many people watching, and they deserve 800 people, 1,000, 10,000 people watching. It's all about getting these bands exposure. It's not about my shows. It's about getting exposure for these artists. And that's why subs are so important to me. I could care less. I'm never going to make money on my channel. It's not all about that. It's all about just sharing the music with as many people as possible.
Well, it's like we always discuss when this topic comes up. This is a very limited group in the overall society. I mean, the people that are passionate about music like this, that even into their middle age continue to buy music, is a rarity. Most people, what they got done with a year or 2 after high school or college, that's enough music for them. That, you know, that's good enough for them. The people like us, it's a very small segment of society. So just by nature of that, you know, the audience that you could reach is going to be a little bit more narrow in scope. But the passion, I mean, you could tell by our comment cavalcade here, anytime we have a live show and people get in here and talk about how they feel about whatever musical subject we're approaching. People are passionate. They know their stuff. They love this music. We may all like slightly different things, but the passion for it and the, the wanting to discover new things and new artists and everything, that still lives on. That's not most people, though.
People make a joke that the women are attracted to Schnee. Look, my wife actually popped on. My trophy wife is here.
There you go.
And it's because of Schnee. So there you go.
That's right. All you got to see is in the thumbnail that name Schnee.
And they all come on.
And they automatically think it's my brother Mike. Right. Now, of course, now we've got 2 Wilkersons. Maybe Mama. Maybe Mama might be listening
Wilkerson
too.
Will show.
We might have a trio of Wilkersons. This is Danny Wilkerson here. Hello, Danny. Danny, I was just.
Oh, he doesn't have a wrench. I better take care of that.
Danny, I was just talking about my Texas buddies just a little while ago. Some of my favorite people in the world. these people are great singer-songwriters,
Always on Facebook.
but
I can't
the
give
thing
them a
is
wrench.
they are great friends, great people, great humans. That's always the thing. Sometimes I don't judge somebody by the music they listen to. If I did, I wouldn't like DC. But
Yeah.
but no. It's
all. You know what, Steve? I think our tastes are eerily similar.
Yeah.
But the only difference is I'm a bit older than you, and my sweet spot is in a different time frame of yours. But when we go back with the Ski Lodge stuff, how the hell did you and I have the same favorite Stevie Wonder song? How the hell does that happen? And that happens all the time when I chime in with what you play on the show.
Yeah.
So I think we're right there, but just different ages.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is I love people's passion for music. I love people. And my channel, if you go to my channel, I have a friend named Tim Allen. And Tim Allen has this attitude same attitude as mine is, why talk about, you see so many videos out there that are like my 10 least favorite Beatles songs, or 10 Beatles songs I hate, or 10 Led Zeppelin songs that I hate, or whatever. Why waste people's time with that and talk about your 10 favorites? But at the same time, that gets a lot of views.
Are you disrespecting our wall puncher shows?
Wall puncher show is legit, though.
No. You see, the thing is I have to be honest that I would love to do a show like that. But at the end of the day, I would just much rather people can come to my channel to watch stuff that I love and that I care about, that I'm passionate about. If you know me personally, you'll know the stuff that I hate. Oh, okay, so Mama Wilkerson. So we got a trio of Wilkersons.
Hey, Mama.
We got the Wilkerson trio.
This may break Grants Rock Warehouse.
Hey, Steve, unlike you, I have a lot of anger that just festers up inside of me, and I got to purge every once in a while with these wall puncher shows.
No.
It's therapy for me.
But I don't look at that. I have.
It's just fun. It's just.
All right. Let me.
See, I can turn it around, and have fun with it. Like once I was gonna. This was legit. I was going to write a review, for a David Crosby album. The album was called "Oh Yes I Can." My review was, "Oh no, you can't."
You can't.
Yeah. But I was just going to do it just because it's a funny title. I love to get silly and talk about this stuff. If you know me, you'll know that I off when we're not live, I'll let these guys know what I feel about stuff.
Yeah.
But live, I just
I want to address something that Annie T just brought up. She said, "Schnee, were you ever a disc jockey? Your voice is so smooth and mesmerizing." Now, I had the pleasure of listening to a tape that Steve made when he was wanting to do voiceover acting and commercial voiceover work. It's more than just like his radio voice. He does all kinds of different approaches, and I wish he'd break that stuff out a little more. But this guy's mega talented. His voice is able to do a lot of entertaining things, and I think if you really would have pursued it, Steve, there's no way you could have missed. Really? I thought that reel was stellar.
Is this true, your name here? Is that true?
I don't hate those bands. No.
You hate the Smithereens?
No, I don't hate them. I just don't buy them. I don't buy Gin Blossoms.
Smithereens.
No.
Blossoms, fabulous. Oh my God.
Okay, no, listen. Before you move on to that, I do not hate the Smithereens. I do not hate Gin Blossoms. I do not hate Steely Dan, and I do not hate Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I like Toad the Wet Sprocket.
No, I'm telling you, I don't hate them.
Okay. You don't like.
Now there are two bands that
I think your name here is trying to stir the pot. We had a show going.
That may be what's going on here.
I think your name is not going to get a Nick Lowe lunchbox.
That's right.
But I mean,
because now I'm going to do a Toad the Wet Sprocket show. You don't like, look, now it's starting the whole thing. Oh, this is how rumors get started. I do want to mention something. If it wasn't for Steve, I wouldn't have known about the Lemon Twigs. Good point.
Yeah, Frank S. Their
last
two albums are very good.
Can I just mention here that my brother was talking to one of the Lemon Twigs, and the member of the Lemon Twigs told my brother about me. Your brother knows his shit because they've seen my videos.
Angie Allen doesn't know you guys, but I know Steve's passion for sharing music is so sincere. We are lucky.
Thank you, Angie.
Angie doesn't know me. Oh,
that makes me sad.
I'd see. It's the thing is, women are drawn to Schnee.
No, she knows you guys, but not
she doesn't
like
know her passion.
Not like she knows me.
Evidently not. We saw Toad at the Newport.
I'm never going to listen to that
Saw
band.
Toad at the Newport. Chris saw, yes.
I saw Toad open for Hootie and the Blowfish back in the day.
I've never seen Toad.
That lead singer irritated me because he performed in bare feet. This
guy here's seen a lot of great bands back in the day.
Look, I got to hang out with
great record.
Pat and Dennis from the Smithereens. I've interviewed Pat before. And I was got to hang out for a little while with Toad during the first album tour. I mean, not hung out like, buddies and stuff like that, but I mean, at the work that I came, the bands came down and sat in a room for an hour or whatever and chatted.
What about my voice, DC?
You got a great voice too. It's unique, and your manner is what puts you over the top, Grant. Because it's very conversational. Oh. You're a very approachable guy, very easygoing, and it comes true. Much like Mr. David Letterman.
There you go.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Here's something.
Someone is spreading misinformation.
Yeah, with that Smithereens comment, they're going to be knocking at your door, Steve, with the pitchforks and the torches like an old Frankenstein movie.
Schnee's getting out of hand. We're just having fun.
Simmer down. Simmer down.
Wait a minute. Stephen wants to share music to the world like I want to share puffy tacos.
Exactly. I totally want to try puffy tacos. But no, first off, DC, let's go back. Thank you for your kind words, but this isn't a DJ voice. This is my normal voice. If you hung around me, this is me. This is
I don't think it's something like when you get off the air, it's like, hey, who wants to go out for hamburgers? I mean, I can tell that's your voice because you're conversational, and it's not like, I'm going to break out my broadcasting voice. Jeff Halverson. How do I feel about Jerry Reed? He used to take his shoes off while playing for some reason. And the only person I give a shoeless and a sockless pass on is the little banjo player in Deliverance. He's the only performer.
Not the guy that sang in, what was the guy with the girl, what was the name of that band that had the girl in the butterfly outfit back in the 90s?
Blind Melon?
Blind Melon, he played, I don't think he wore shoes.
Blind Melon, that song there, that's another wall puncher.
He's dead. That dude's dead.
Yeah. That's disrespectful, DC.
How can you say that?
Does the D and DC stand for disrespectful?
That's like
that was someone's son.
It's like when someone like Hitler dies and you say you don't want to say anything bad about him. I'm just being honest. I didn't like that whole vibe of that group.
Blessings to him. Comments set the world on fire.
I don't know why your name is anti-Schnee.
Steve hates Red Cross and Dinosaur Jr. I had no idea. Why do you hate Red Cross?
I don't hate Red Cross. I just don't buy Red Cross.
They have a new album out, folks. It's pretty good.
Just because I don't buy them doesn't mean I hate them.
God,
yeah, there's only so much money you could spend. Yeah, and it's like I'm ridiculous. Like right now upstairs, I've got 14 CDs new. I haven't
Blind
cracked the
melon's
plastic
okay.
on. That's ridiculous. You got to enjoy what you buy. That's one of my vices.
I don't know
Jerry
why
Reed-
people are throwing crap at me.
Amos
Jerry
Moses.
Reed is a hell of was a
I'm going to
Jerry-
quit. I'm
And
going
Roy
to quit
Clark.
YouTube forever.
And Roy
Jerry
Clark
Reed was a hell of a guitar player.
and Roy Clark. Anytime.
Roy Clark.
Oh my God, was Roy Clark outstanding?
There's like a video on YouTube. I think it's Jerry Reed with Glenn Campbell. You gentlemen have
Oh.
seen that?
Stellar players.
Oh my God! To see those two play together.
Oh,
Don't skip
great,
Danny's
oh,
comment.
What?
No, up.
What are we looking? Where?
Go up a few.
Sorry, I can't keep track because when I talk, I can't keep up.
Ned Beatty and the Squealers.
Poor Ned Beatty. But he came back. He still got
good
roles after that. You'd think he'd
Yeah.
be typecast.
Look at this.
Yeah, see, I don't
It
understand
does
that.
say something.
I don't understand that because girls don't like me, and that's not me putting me down. That's just the way it is. I think it's all Mercy likes. But okay, we're done talking about Schnee TV.
Starman. The source told me Steve doesn't like music and especially hates compact.
We're going to have everybody confused by the end of this show. They're
Oh my
head
God,
hurts.
this is
My
so.
head hurts.
Oh my God, I love it. Jerry Reed ruled. Oh my gosh, he's such a good guitar player.
Yeah.
And Roy Clark, and oh, and if we're talking that stuff, Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. What was his guitar player in the Buckaroos?
Oh God,
You remember-
was
you
it
know-
Don Ellis or something like
Don
that?
Ellis.
Yeah.
Great guitar. The Buckaroo stuff. If I'm
Oh,
gonna
the
listen
Buckaroos
to,
were great
if
players.
I would listen to any of that stuff, it'd be that. Because
They
that
aren't-
band he had was great.
They aren't blind spots. Your name.
Uh,
It's just like DC was saying. We only have so much. I give an artist so much attention, and if I listen to 5 Red Cross albums and I really like them, but I listen to 5 Lanny Flowers albums and love them to death, then I'm going to stick with Lanny and listen to Lanny all the time because I know that all my friends are going to have that Red Cross. They're not. One person not buying their stuff.
Steve
I
has
agree.
great
I
taste,
agree
so
with
I
you,
wonder
Steve.
why he isn't as big on bands. I assume he would be.
As you move along life's path, you do get to a point where you could see the sand sifting out of the hourglass. And how much time do you want to spend on giving bands chances that you like, but they're not really in your sweet spot? So you got to be a little bit more judicious as you move along. And believe me, I'm in the 4th quarter, so I know this better than anybody probably here.
And I'm not going to listen to stuff just because now I know that your name's not doing this, but I'm not going to listen to stuff just because other people like them. I'm going to listen to stuff that moves me, that I connect with, no matter how much pressure I get. Oh, Don Rich. Don Rich. That's it, not Don Ellis.
I'm
Rich.
curious.
Don
both-
Rich was great. May he rest
I'm
in
curious with both my fellow panelists here and the people in the comments section. How much did
peace.
peer?
Ned Beatty was in Superman. I say he recovered.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he had a career after that ugliness of Deliverance. But how really did you give a crap about peer pressure in music when you were coming up? Because I did not give 2 shits. If I was tooling around in my car with my shitty 8-track player, I could have Zeppelin in there, I could have Sabbath, I could have Bread or the Carpenters. Don't give a crap if I'm pulling up in the driveway and I got the bread blazing. Never bothered me. I like what I like, and I don't make any apologies.
Well, isn't Steve Martin a good banjo player?
Ooh,
He is.
Yeah.
He's a good banjo player. I don't
Yeah,
have a
he's
problem with
great.
banjo. Hey, I'm in awe.
Oh, go ahead and get it, Grant. Go ahead and interrupt my show and get it.
Spam
Hello.
risk. Spam.
Hello.
We're
Spam calling
talking
you?
banjo. Banjo's incredible because banjo's the opposite of guitar because everything in guitar pretty much is in your left hand. Banjo's the opposite. It's all,
The picking.
it's all the picking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not your right hand so much, Anyway, whatever. I don't know if Schnee's really heard The Hunt to really say.
I haven't heard The Hunt, and because of this channel and all of you, I'm never going to listen to them. Ooh. You know, yeah, I know. Look, I'll tell you, Oasis, fantastic band, the first 2 albums. And then after that, they became just another band.
Is it true that Oasis is reuniting? I heard something about it.
I've heard that through the grapevine.
Is it true?
Let me give you my impression of this. Is they're both posting stuff about a date, which I think was tomorrow, 8/27 or something. And when I say both, Liam and Noel, I know that there's a collection of songs that they recorded for Definitely Maybe, like original recordings for the album. You know, they went back and re-recorded them. I know that that's coming out. To me, this sounds like it's going to be an advertisement for that or something related to that. Everyone's saying it's a reunion. But this is par for the course for these guys. They post something and then you think there's going to be a reunion and it causes this big thing. And then it comes out, it says, we're releasing a video of this song, using old footage. And that's all it is. And everyone got into this big uproar about it.
Or re-releasing a classic album with a couple of extras tacked on, like washroom toots or something, whatever they can dig up that was recorded. It's like, boy.
Yeah.
But Stephen David made a comment. He's worse than me. He says, I've got way more than 14 CDs that I haven't cracked open. And he's waiting for a winter. When he's ready to listen. I do listen more in the winter. Or if there's a power outage.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, by the way, is the fact that I don't believe in guilty pleasures.
Me neither.
Well, there's maybe when you're younger.
No.
When you're with people and you have a peer pressure type of thing.
Grant, that stuff. I was an old soul. I was like 7 years old going on 47. I never gave 2 craps about it. I'm weird. I just listened to whatever the hell I wanted to. Of course, my hair was down to here, and I played guitar, and people knew what kind of stuff I played, so maybe I was cut some slack because of that, but yeah.
See, Squid Gal, in my universe, we are all equal. We're all music lovers. I could care less, and some of us are really old, like DC. Some of us are young, like Brindley. But as long as you are true to who you are, that's all that matters to me. Because I try to be as true to myself as possible, and that's why I look back in 1984. I don't know if I've told you guys this story, and I'll make it super quick because I want to know what Grant got. Back in 1984, my boss that I worked with says, "Hey, can you make me a mixtape? I'm having a pool party." Right? Well, first off, he didn't invite me to the pool party, but that didn't matter. I got to make a mixtape. I got to make a mixtape, right? Mixtape probably started off with Flock of Seagulls I Ran. Then it went into Madness Our House, and then, so it's all that kind of stuff, right? But I am a big Tom Jones fan too. So then I put Help Yourself on. So help yourself to my lips, to my arm, right? This fantastic freaking song. Yes. To me, it was just as good as anything else that was on that tape. And he said the party came to a screeching halt the minute that song came on. He had to jump out of the pool and forward fast his boombox to get to the next song.
It's like someone noticed the Milky Way in the pool.
yeah, exactly. So, but to me, it's all awesome. You know what I mean? I could listen to Billy Joel, as somebody mentioned, and Buzzcocks, one right after another, and then John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, and the Eddie and the Cruisers.
John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band
on the dark side.
Wow.
Dark side coming down, nothing is real.
When was the last time anybody mentioned John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band? Jesus Christ.
Hey, Jeff Overson said, DC listened to vaudeville when it was current. That's when music was music.
You know who was a great hey, I love that song too.
Carol, I'm not bitching about, but it's never been brought up on any channel that I've been on. I'm just saying, where does that come in? It just comes out of Steve's mouth. I just what? Jesus. Oh my God! It's not like we've talked about it ever, and it just comes out. That's what I'm just surprised.
Well, I will say that Iconoclastic Records released a great John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band best of in the last couple of years that has stuff off his albums and those soundtracks. So why don't you get that for your wife?
DC cruising the Vega. Years. Did you have a Vega?
I did have a Chevy Chevette, which was a complete piece of crap. That had a big hole in the passenger side that somebody could have dropped through if we didn't realize it in time.
In the floor?
In the floor. Oh, yeah. It was this big.
Oh, God.
First Lady Johnson and then John Cafferty.
That dude is very obscure with his reference points.
Yeah, that's always been a problem.
Look, so did we really get anywhere tonight?
It doesn't matter. I mean, in a nutshell, anyone who didn't show up earlier, Schnee TV is a show about indie music videos. I go to the artists, I go to the labels, I get permission to use the artists. I put the show together. I create a flow. Sometimes I have to remove tracks because it doesn't go with the flow. Then I save them for another episode. The shows are about an hour long, about 15, 16 videos. It's like watching MTV for an hour. It's like watching 120 minutes. It's like watching any of that kind of stuff. And it's an experience. You're seeing and experiencing brand new music that more than likely you wouldn't have listened to or watched otherwise. And there might be stuff that you're familiar with. The thing is, it's all about the music. It's all about turning people on to music, introducing artists and helping these artists reach an audience. Like I said, that's why subs matter. I want these artists not to hit their microphones. I want these artists, I just did it again. I want these artists to be exposed to more people. And that's all my shows are about.
And that's the thing. It's like, we're all of a general age where MTV made a humongous impression on us. For the most part, everybody here. This is like revisiting that in 2024. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of new artists. You're not going to hear other places. And it seems like kind of reliving an era in time that is very special to a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, definitely tune in to Schnee TV, folks. It'll be worth your while.
Yeah, I see, and I'm never going to fake it. I know that sounds awkward. Sorry. But when I talk about stuff, and if you see that passion, I'm not trying to sell something because this guy's my friend or whatever. No. I have friends that probably get mad at me because I don't talk about their music because I'm not as passionate. When something touches me, that's the thing. I'm an emotional listener, and I want to get that across. I don't want to get, hey, this sounds good, you're going to like it, I'm going to seem cool because I was the first person you heard it from. No, I'm trying to get this part of me out there. I know it's impossible, but I try.
Well, you're a man of your word, because I know that a-hole Denny from the Warehouse has been trying to get you to play some of his music on Schnee TV. Yeah, Denny and the Destroyers.
Right.
Yeah, why don't you ever play any of his stuff? I've played it on my channel.
Well, yeah, Grant has, but of course he's employed by Grant. If you want to keep things happy in the back,
yeah, exactly.
Kind of throw him a bone every once in a while.
Exactly.
Beyond this wall, you have no idea what I have to put up
what
with.
goes on back there.
Yeah, because I'm in the office at the Warehouse right now.
That's right. He's in the uppermost of management.
If you could see
him and Ernesto,
I can look out over the
they look out over at us toiling away on aisle 13 or whatever, lifting big vinyl boxes of vinyl.
Oh, there's
and
so many
filing them
stacks of vinyl and CDs here. It's amazing. Really, there should be a tour of the Warehouse.
Yeah.
So we actually have a real question. So maybe Steve, you want to touch on this again? So are these approved videos from the bands?
These are videos that I get from the bands and from the labels. I go to the bands, or like I said, I have a very nice person or very kind person from Switzerland, Bianca Ritter. She's going to people and she's asking artists for me, and I'm connecting with them. But I am getting permission. I'm not just randomly throwing videos up on my show. Everything is approved by the artist. The artists and the labels know about it. So yes. Now, yeah, House of Pancakes. Oh God. But it can be hard. It can be tedious. Now I have to ask people, did you have anything to do with CD Baby in the past? And because CD Baby has copyright blocks. So if CD Baby distributes your music digitally, they don't do physical anymore, but if they distribute it digitally, then I cannot use it on the show because it will be, the entire video will be blocked. Not a copyright warning or strike, whatever. No, one video by one artist can block an entire show. So I have to remove that, which is unfortunate because there's so many great music out there, or so much great music out there, so many great artists that I can't feature because of that. But we're trying to figure out, because Dot Dash, for some reason, their video got blocked on my show like 4 weeks after it aired. And so, but they went and they checked a box. They went on to CD Baby, they unchecked the box or whatever, and then 3 days later, it was live again. So,
well, folks, Steve's had some real nightmare scenarios show up with his programs that he's had in the can, and then all of a sudden at the 11th hour, something hits the fan, and it's like, I salute him, because I would have just been talking about wall punchers. I was like, that's it, I'm done. But he's a trooper.
It's
a trooper.
It's not easy. Not easy putting together a show.
Speaking of wall punchers, just be leery about anything with Soft Cell or Mark Ullman. I'm just going to leave it there.
Also, Haircut 100.
I'm just going to leave it there, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Well, I could go to my grave without ever hearing Soft Cell again and be perfectly
you'll
happy.
never hear it on my channel.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even going to go into it. But I'll just...
Oh, that sucks. But, Grant.
Yes, sir.
You said you got some CDs lately.
I did. Well, I went to Half Price Books.
Okay.
The other day. Took the dog, because the dog likes to go. And,
oh, wait. Your wife is here. Maybe you should wait until she's gone before you show us what you bought.
No,
okay.
It's all cool.
Okay.
It's all right. Here. I'll show this. So, look, I got this. So you can see that, right?
Oh, cool.
Is that Woody Woodpecker?
1962 to 60.
No.
This is on Real Gone.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, I remember when that came out. I never
that's
did
a
get
good...
it.
Yeah, that's a good collection there.
Yeah, it is.
I was just surprised that this was in the bin.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like this stuff costs very much. Jeez.
Every once in a while, someone with taste pitches over and they sell.
There you go.
Oh,
this is the
what's
original...
that gentleman all about?
Well, I think you can tell.
He's waiting for the Soft Cell show.
Well, not only that, but what is she all hanging out for? But anyway, this is the Capitol CD, the original Capitol CD.
And that has Danger on it, which is one of my, that song takes me back to just a...
But we are going to do a motel show. So that's...
Grant, your wife said she's already busted you at the mailbox today.
Yeah, we're looking at... I wasn't busted.
You know what? I'll get a delivery of about 10 CDs.
There was a lot
in
today,
box.
which is abnormal. I don't know what it was.
I get a delivery of about 10 CDs in a box, and my wife knows the size of those boxes and what's inside, and she'll just give me that sideways look.
How do I get out of this?
Really, sir? You've got 14 of them sitting there that you haven't touched.
I just love the fact of Grant getting in trouble from his wife. Oh, great. He got in so much trouble. He's gone now. There he is.
Now it's the DC and Steve show. finishing up.
Okay, and then this is something that Schnee recommended.
Okay.
And let me make it big because, I got it. We're sharing right now.
Fantastic. You got it.
Oh.
And
Now, have you listened to either of them?
No.
Okay.
I just came today during that secret shipment that I got busted on.
Oh, okay.
Fraser Court.
Good job, Carol. Good job.
Secret shipment.
And then I got this because we're doing that motel show.
Uh-huh.
Attaboy.
This is the One Way.
Oh, wow.
The original Capitol CD, if you can ever find it, it came out like back when they put CDs out back in the early 84 or 85. It came out. No, what year did this come out? This 83. 83.
Okay, yeah.
But the original CD came out like 80. No, I'd have been 84, 85 in the dawn of time of CDs. And
what's the first song on that
expensive. Album? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, that's the song that starts out, "Dark side coming down, nothing is real." Right?
Isn't that the Beaver Brown Band?
I think that's the Beaver Brown Band. So, okay. And then this, because Steve recommended it. The Tourists.
Oh, you got it. Fantastic.
Look at this. Steve's going to have an outer body experience.
Yes, fantastic.
And then this, because we're doing Poco on Sea of Tranquility, and I didn't have this. Poco, a good feeling to know. And I was playing it today in the car. Damn, this is a good record.
It's a good one.
This might rank pretty high on my ranking. Because, I've talked about... I wonder if I can make it small. Okay, here we go. If I knew of Poco, and these shows just kind of... Most of it comes from everybody in the chat, like Ken, or Gary, or, everybody brings it up, and someone wanted us to do Poco, so we're doing Poco. And a lot of it I was unfamiliar with. And we're just going to do the top 10 tracks. top 10 albums. Because they have such a huge catalog. There's like 20 albums. And, I have an idea how it's going to rank. But this one I just got today. And this is a great mix of rock, country, but it's not like some of that other Poco stuff. This thing rocks pretty hard. I was really surprised.
Yeah, Poco's one of those groups that I've heard about my whole life paying attention to music. I just have never really perused any of their albums. I got 145 from them. It's a song called Come On, but never have no Poco in my collection.
Fraser Chorus are great. Too bad the expanded CDs are out of print.
I will tell you something though, just to stay on the Tourists vibe. I put this up on Discogs. I know it's not going to sell, but there were 2 copies up there for $500 and something, and plus shipping from Japan, so they were like $575. I put it up for $500. I'll take $400 for it. But I had no idea it was that rare. But this is the Japanese version of their third and final album. And who knows? I might mark it down to like 300. But no, I don't want to go anything less than 400.
Well, that's sweet when you have something like that in your back pocket. Because there's somebody out there that's been looking for that for a while. So it'll move.
Yeah, I think there was 26 that had it, 87 that wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I really don't expect anyone to pay $500 or $500 for that. But if somebody did, that'd be like the only reason for me to part with it. And yes,
Steve, don't you agree?
I only
Steve,
have
don't
one
you agree?
prefab Sprout CD that I got for like $2.
Which do you know which album it is?
I don't know. Came out like
it's Two Wheels Bad
80.
or Steve McQueen. That album is a good starting point.
After
Two Wheels Good.
Two Wheels Good. Pow!
Is it from Langley Park to Memphis?
Oh, I'll look it up.
Ernesto's stating here that I just picked up the Soupy Sales box set. You are correct, sir. Do the mouse.
I think it's. Wait a minute.
And do you like Ivy? That's with was with Adam Schlesinger from Fountains of Wayne. And there's
I'm
a
not even going to
female-
answer questions on bands I like or don't like because he's just gonna smear my name all across the internet.
Ivy's a
would
good
say-
band too.
I think it's from Langley Park to
Park to
Memphis.
London.
Okay,
To Memphis.
To Memphis.
From Langley
I thought it was
Park
Langley Park
to
to
Memphis.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Third
My
studio
God.
album.
well, you have the rare version with one track.
Huh?
No. From Langley Park to Memphis is the name of the album. Langley Park, I believe, is I think where they grew up or something in
Jeff,
England.
why are you so obsessed with Witchfind?
See,
Isn't
that's
that
another band
British-
I'm never going to listen to.
Isn't
Witchfind and
that-
The Hunt.
But The Hunt you'd like. Witchfind you probably wouldn't. That's British new wave of heavy metal, I think.
Yeah, Witchfind is good to play if you're going to have a goat sacrifice.
Yeah, we're talking. Still,
Yeah, of course.
Still.
talk about The Tourist, please. There you go.
Yeah, I love. For anybody that doesn't know, Grant, can you show up? Hold up the
What?
Tourists
Yeah.
again. For anybody that doesn't know, the Tourists were a British guitar, pop, psych, folk, rock band. Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart. This is the band that they were in before Eurythmics. They were not the key players in the band. The key players in this was actually Pete Coombs. He was the main songwriter of the band, and very birdsy sounding. Pete Coombs is the guy in the foreground there. Very birdsy sounding, very jangly guitar. It's not power pop, but some of their songs could be power pop. Annie sings maybe a couple songs per album, and she makes loud noises on her desk. And Dave Stewart, I think he's only sung one or two songs. And but if you can find that greatest hits, or if you can find any of their albums on vinyl, definitely pick them up. An absolutely fantastic band. The one I was just showing here, the one that I put up for sale for a couple $100 or $500, whatever. This is actually my favorite album by them. And if you can find this on vinyl, definitely check it out. It's a little darker, a little more moody, but it's fantastic. They were just such a great band. Calling themselves the Tourists, then to have an Asian bass player. Dave Stewart back in these days looked like he was like a total heroin addict back then. I don't know if he was or not, but I know Pete Coombs, who's the guy between him and Annie. Unfortunately, he died about 20 years ago or something. But these albums have not been reissued on CD. Annie and Dave have put the kibosh on any reissue program, which is really sad. The only thing that you can really get is that greatest hits one that Grant has.
Angie, I can do you one better. I can play cassettes in my car.
Yeah, Angie,
Ooh.
my CD story with the vehicle is I have a CD stuck in my car player for like 7 years now. I can't get it out.
Oh, good Lord.
Poco's
Yep.
one of the most underrated bands. Well, they should have been a lot more. This record, phenomenal. I can't believe how they didn't make it. Well, they did, but
Not to the level they should have.
no, not to the level they should have.
That bringing up of Dave Stewart reminds me, I bought the new Daryl Hall album, and Dave Stewart's on a couple of tracks.
How was the
But
album?
overall, I'm disappointed. It just didn't seem like it's not Daryl's best effort.
It's coming,
It's not
Ernesto.
horrible. It's not bad. It's just not. It's just not inspired. And he doesn't even use a bass player other than for one song. He used synth bass all through the album, and that's not gonna jibe with me.
Starman, I've got a story for you. When my wife, we went to Seattle a couple years ago. We went to Voltage Records in Tacoma. And we were there visiting my son. And we went into Voltage Records. And I'm going through the bins. And lo and behold, what presents itself was the last pressing, CD pressing of Abbey Road, Black Triangle. And it's not a boot. It's an original one. I bought it for $5.
Wow.
Because you can tell if they're bootlegs because the when they press the number, I forget what number it is. You have to look. But this was the last Toshiba Japanese pressing that I was able to buy. And for anybody who likes Abbey Road, you like digital media, what they say about the Black Triangle Abbey Road is 100% true. It breathes. You can hear tape hiss. You can hear, it sounds like the Beatles are freaking playing right there in front of you. It's absolutely stunning. And the reason it's going for like $500 or $250 or whatever for a Black Triangle Abbey Road, I totally get it. But I got it for $5. So,
wow.
Hey, there are CDs to be had.
The
And I'll
music
never
gods
sell
were
it.
smiling on you that day.
I mean, you can look at all these remasters, but nothing sounds like the Black Triangle of Abbey Road. There's a reason it is legendary. Just saying. I don't care how great your vinyl sounds, blah, 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 blah. Until you hear the Black Triangle Abbey Road, you haven't lived yet. I swear to God, it's absolutely wonderful. But I've always been looking for one. But you never see them, and they're always expensive. Mine is a second pressing Toshiba one. I got it for a few dollars. Tool, you're right on one of the best sounding compact discs. Yep. Exact 100%. And that was in 1984. Yep, that CD puts it does. You can go on and on about how great your Abbey Road album sounds until you hear this. It is. What about those Japanese? There's a lot of great Japanese CD pressings. Remember back in the old days, when CDs were, just coming out and how everybody raved about, because the Japanese would put damn near anything out. You have to applaud them. They are so passionate about things. But remember, they used to put out things you could never get here. They were the ones that put out the Beatles first. And then, of course, Apple put the kibosh on it. So much for the original Abbey Road CD. But the things with the Japanese, man, there's so much great stuff. They did those Yes remasters that sound good. The Player CD, because most of the band Player, because we did a show on Sea of Tranquility on Player, I've got the Japanese. That's the only way to get it. They never were pressed here. But the Japanese have all the Player albums out on CD, and they all sound wonderful. Mm-hmm. So, man, you have to hand it to them. And, man, they just...
Well, that's what this is, Japanese.
Yeah, this is a good point.
It's the attention
and
to
it probably
detail.
sounds great. It probably sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out things you'll never, ever see come out here.
Yeah, there's real care and attention to detail, and they just don't crap out product. That's the difference. The
first two Jules Shear solo albums
came
out in Japan. Never were here. And it took me, I was looking for those for years and was able to get them. But absolutely wonderful. They sound great. It's just weird. Maybe licensing in Japan's different. We know that licensing in the UK is different. Steve and I were talking about this the other night. Rebellion's, closing their doors. The record labels have screwed them. But a lot of these Cherry Red, Rock Candy put out all these great bands on CD that would never, ever come out here in the States. Mm-hmm. They're able to license stuff. Were they trying to kill every... I'm going to say, I guess Rebellion, what would you consider? An independent... Well, what would you consider that?
Well, he was more of an independent label that just got, he had just national or international distribution, but he is an independent label.
Right. Just like Wounded Bird.
Yeah.
Or, but they seem to be going away. But then if you look at the UK, it seems like it's prospering. Anybody go look at BGO, go look at Cherry Red, look at their catalogs. Edsel, look at their catalogs of all these great bands that would have been forgotten that they reissue. Mm-hmm. There is so much old great music out there that people have not even tapped into. And thank God for, I know, but this, I just can't believe that here in the States, we just let all this crap just fall apart. Like Rhino. Rhino was great. It got sucked up by Warner Brothers, and there went Rhino. They aren't doing jack shit. Sorry, I'm getting worked up. But Rhino Handmade was great. They were passionate, and it got shut down. Look, you can't even buy a Monkey CD anymore because they're all out of print. Yeah. And Rhino owns the damn Monkeys.
Grant, that's the same poison that infiltrated the film industry, is that if we can't make mega millions out of this release, it seems like they're not interested. It's a niche market, folks. Put quality material out there. You know about how many they're going to sell, and price it away that you're going to make a nice profit, but you're not going to be world beaters. You know, this stuff this homemade stuff and everything, these are for the very, very passionate music lovers for these particular acts. But you can make money. It's just how you put the whole thing together. You're not going to get Michael Jackson Thriller numbers. Sorry, folks. But that's the same poison that infiltrates the movie industry.
You mean Taylor Swift numbers?
Well, yeah, I'm speaking in my 1980s.
I know.
Past tense.
Okay,
brain.
yeah. Rhino did an excellent job. Of course, I have to give it to Rhino. They did put out that headquarters box, 2 years ago or something, that was limited to like 2,000 copies. Hey, it was great. At least we got something new. But yeah, they've already put all this stuff out, but they're not. I am on a rant. But they're not keeping it alive. I don't get it. Do people not care anymore? Why do they care about this stuff in the UK? Why do they care about this stuff in Japan, but we don't care?
Look, we do care. They just want to make killer numbers on everything.
Explain
That's
it. Please explain it to me.
Mindset. They don't understand it's a niche market.
Well, Ken Golden is on Sea of Tranquility every Friday, Ernesto. Go over to Sea of Tranquility. Pete has Ken Golden on there every afternoon. Laser Hedge is on there all the time. Tune into Pete's channel. Anyway, go ahead.
Look, all I can tell you is Europe and Japan has always been ahead of the U.S. in terms of reissues, repackaging. In America, you'd have someone like Stonewall Jackson. You'd maybe have a 12, 14 track compilation, one available. Yet in Germany, they put out a 8 CD box set. And it seems like over there, it could have been pricing. Maybe over here, all the labels outpriced, reissues. They didn't see, as DC was saying, they didn't see that, they were going to make big money. But the people in Japan, Germany, UK, there's more of a love for the music and the desire to get it out there. The people will pay for that stuff. People will buy reissues and stuff. Here in the US, and I've noticed that you could, something like The Cure. The Cure albums, come out on CD, right? And, you're never going to find anything used by The Cure until a Greatest Hits comes out. Then all of a sudden, the bins are full of their catalog because the Greatest Hits came out, and then that's going to satisfy people who aren't hardcore fans. And it seems like in Europe, they're just way more into it than here in America. America's bigger too. So, the sales are going to be spread out across the U.S. and we can sit here and go over and over again about why they don't focus on reissues here, but I don't think we're ever going to have an answer apart from it being financial. Labels want to make a certain amount of money.
But why are they so greedy? Okay, it is the United States. But they are slowly killing everything. If you don't have a Rubellin, if you don't have a Wounded Bird, if you don't have these labels that are representing the United States, I don't know even what Sundays is doing. Are they still putting out anything anymore? But you know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because what's his name? I think retired. I don't know. I
haven't heard anything about it. Real Gone puts out some great stuff, but not as frequently as they used to.
Yeah, what is going on with these?
Omnivore puts out some great stuff.
Right. But it's not. Ever since Rhino died, it's been.
All these niche labels should be able to get a lot of these artists' acts for a song, so to speak. If the larger labels don't want to do it, work out some kind of equitable price to lease whatever band or artist's music onto CDs, and these smaller labels that are more passionate about lesser acts can get the music out there for people.
You guys want to see a stack of CDs I have? New things that I have?
Yes, sir.
Which I never show on my channel anymore. I never do my latest things. Yeah. Well, only one of them I paid for. It's a new Steve Forbert.
Well, look at Steve. He's aged a bit.
Yeah. I buy Steve Forbert. I dig each of his albums, but this might be the last new one I buy because they don't, he's not doing anything new. But I have to dig into it. Anyway, this is what I received from Omnivore. Actually, let me first I'm going to show you. Jimmy from the Laughing Dog sent me a new copy of this because mine wasn't working. But this is Laughing Dog's rarities from the original lineup. Fantastic. Here's two new power poppy groups. These are both through Cool Cat Music. The new Emperor Penguin. Remember, I played a video on the last episode of Schnee TV. Still got to push
on my list. Yeah, that's on my list to buy.
Vinyl Kings were also on Schnee TV. Mm-hmm. They had the song that was kind of Give Peace a Chancey towards the end. And then this was from Real Gone Music. That's the Frankie Stein. I made a commercial of that.
That's pretty cool.
So you can go to my channel, and it has the 5 Frankie Stein albums from the 60s on 2 CDs.
That's pretty great. Is that something new that they just brought out? Or is that
Real Gone just put it out. Just came out. You can either get this 2 CD set that has all 5 albums, or you can get 5 individual albums, all of them colored vinyl. So
wow, that's pretty great.
Okay, so here's what I got from Omnivore Records. Jerry Phillips. This is Sam Phillips' son. Sam Phillips from Sun Records. And then speaking of Sam Phillips, I have the new Sam Phillips, but this is the female Sam Phillips, the one married to T-Bone Burnett, used to be Leslie Phillips.
Oh, I like a lot of Sam Phillips stuff.
This is the problem, Carol. We get going on this. Mm-hmm. Steve gets me worked up, and then I'm ordering the Tourists. It's his fault. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at him.
Don't be mad at me. Be mad at Schnee.
Does she have 2 accounts?
Yeah, what happened to your face?
Yeah, Carol.
Now she's on YouTube.
And the other one, she had 2 last names, Carol Hume Arthur.
Well, that's her maiden name.
Oh, I guess one of them's her secret account. Now she's just revealed it.
Now she's on. She must have a YouTube account, I guess.
Yeah, her secret YouTube account. Then the Young Fresh Fellows debut album. This is an expanded anniversary 2 CD edition. That I don't know if anyone was into the Iron House City Rockers and stuff. Joe Krasicki has this is a 2 CD anthology going all the way back to the Iron City House Rocker days, as well as a new Joe Krasicki and the House Rockers.
I mean, look at all this stuff that Schnee's getting. You're getting it free though, probably.
Yeah, these are
promos.
Yes, NRBQ. This is a reissue of the album Brass Tax, and that has a couple bonus tracks on it. Here's a compilation from the Continental Drifters.
Oh,
You'll notice a member of the DBs, Cows Hills, Bangles.
Yeah.
They're in that band there. Most people are going to be familiar with this album cover.
Oh my God, I know that album cover, but I've
Yeah,
never heard
exactly.
that record.
Yeah, J.D. Souther, wrote a lot of songs with like Glenn Frey and stuff.
Byron, I listen to the CDs, but I probably have hundreds, probably thousands of records I haven't listened to.
That's DC back in the 80s there.
Yeah.
And then finally, I think everyone's going to know this one. And this is so exciting in my opinion. Dave Edmunds, Swan Songs. This is the singles for Swan Song Records.
Oh.
And this is 2 CD set.
What label's that on?
It's on Omnivore.
Very nice.
Yeah, so you're not getting information, what's that song? Slipping Away. You're not getting that stuff. Okay, you make me small.
Oh, sorry.
And
that was a lot of Schnee.
Yeah, I know, a little too much.
I like this because now we're back in our little. I wish I could have set this up where we're sitting in the chairs talking.
Yeah, I know, that'd be awesome.
That'd have been something.
Wouldn't that be good? You got in, we're sitting in there.
Yeah.
We should have like us and AI and do it like that.
But yes, all this stuff from Omnivore, I just got a nice little care package. And you see, the thing about it is you can't buy. Yeah,
Look,
you did.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, I actually said nice things about or Tim Allen towards the beginning of the show.
Yeah, you were mentioned, Tim.
Yeah, were your ears burning?
Yeah.
Bad storm killed power, so I'm going to say goodnight. All right. Thanks for coming
Good night, Squid Gal. Thank you for being here.
Squid
Ski Lodge
Gal.
tomorrow. And then, but if he sends me stuff and I don't like it, I'm not going to talk about it. You know what I mean? But most of the stuff, the Omnivore, you're going to get just tons of great stuff. I mean, the Dave Edmunds is probably going to garner. I've made a couple commercials. I made the Frankie Stein commercial, and I made a commercial for Jerry T. Jones and the Chosen Few. If you go to my channel, you'll see those. And I also made a video for Laughing Dogs. So
there's
I'm always trying to create something for the music I love.
There's a lot of stuff that comes out on Omnivore. They did some Doug Feiger stuff. There's some Max stuff. Andrew Gold.
Yep.
Some phenomenal stuff. So check, give them some love. You
the Buck Owens catalog.
You don't want these labels to go by the wayside like they're doing. I'm just
you got to support these labels, folks, if you can. Send some money their way. I did, and he was surprisingly able to hit a lot of those high notes, which ain't easy.
Rand's a musician.
Yeah, but he does the vocal things. He doesn't play up, but he's in a karaoke bar singing an Asia tune.
The Muffs. We had a band in Columbus called the Muffs.
I don't take no lip from.
They
punks.
were called the Muff Brothers originally.
Then the Muffs.
You remember them, DC?
Their big hit was I Don't Take No Lip from Punks. And I'm not going to take
Did you ever see him play live when you were here around here?
I had the album, but I never saw him live.
You know what? I have that. Oh, man.
It's got like rainbow-colored stripes.
Yeah.
But then there's the Ronnie Barnett Muffs.
Yeah, this was way before that. This was 70s Muffs.
Yep.
They were a big Columbus band. The deluxe edition of Chris Bell's I Am the Commas is also a must-have.
Yeah.
Yes. Audio is breaking up. BM Bolt, you're breaking up. Explorer
Tapes is great, yes. Check out Explorer Tapes on Omnivore as well.
Video is stuck. BM Bolt, yours video is stuck.
Am I coming through nice and clear?
We're just having some fun with you folks.
All right, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you coming on. Nice to see
Mike.
you. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming by.
Yeah, this was fun. I like these conversations.
I mean, if you like these conversations, I will throw it out here Friday. 7 p.m. The Warehouse is open. We will be doing we're bringing him back. Young Logan, who isn't here, wants to, said, Grant, you haven't done the Friday night chat in a long time. Why don't you bring it back? I said, well, I could do a Friday night chat once a month because the listening parties, originally the Friday night chat, the listening parties grew out of the Friday night chat. So then it morphed into that. But we can do both. So what we do on the Friday night chat is I'll throw out the link. Whoever wants to come on and talk music, we're just going to talk music for a couple hours.
Yeah, folks, we would love to see your smiling faces up here. We know you in the comments section. We'd like to really get to know you. Especially you ladies.
And some ladies can come on.
Yeah.
Maybe Mrs. BM. See, Byron, Byron, he's freezing. We could maybe get Mrs. BM Bolt on.
Oh,
we know
that would be wonderful.
She's a joy to have on. She's very good.
She loves music.
She loves music.
She loves to converse.
I'll see if I can get Mrs. BM Bolt on. I don't care about Byron coming on. I like his wife, though. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute.
Badfinger Wish You Were Here would be...
Okay, if you all could only keep 3 albums from your collection, which would they be? Ooh. Go ahead, Schnee.
Badfinger Wish You Were Here, self-titled album from The Beat, and it hurts. I can't focus now. But those would be 2 albums.
You can't come up with a third one?
Think.
Really?
Think.
I was thinking the same thing, your name here.
What were you thinking? I'm looking around while you're
the
thinking.
Beatles.
The Beatles in your 3. But
That's what I'm thinking.
Badfinger, that's adjacent.
Yeah, Squeezy, It's That Story.
And no Beatles.
I've listened to the Beatles.
All right. So Byron, DC, what's your 3?
Well, if I've only got 3, I've got to all encompass as much different kind of music as possible with my 3 choices. I'm going to go with, of course, Todd Rundgren's Something Anything. A lot of variety within that album. I'm going to cheat and pick the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack because you got a lot of different stuff in there, including your ballads. And I will make a Beatles pick. I'll pick Magical Mystery Tour, which is an odd choice. That's my favorite Beatle album. It's not an album proper, but to me, when I was a kid hearing that, love that album.
But DC, it is an album proper because the Beatles accepted that Capitol comp into their catalog.
There
as
you go.
Legitimate release, so it does count.
I'll sleep well tonight, folks.
And I'm gonna go. Well, I can do this. Matthew's Sweet Girlfriend, easy. Beatles. I'm going to go with Magical Mystery Tour, too, because I think it's a wonderful record.
Attaboy.
It's right in the middle.
Yeah, right there. You get all aspects of them.
And Beach Boys' Pet Sounds.
Oh.
I could live.
Yeah, but he's picking those just so he seems cool to all the other VC channels. I'm picking them from the heart. I'm being honest. Both of you guys are just faking it.
Matthew Sweet Girlfriend? What the fuck?
Overrated.
What the?
God, I hate doing that, but now he's pissing me off.
Now he's really gone, folks.
Now he's really gone now.
He ain't coming back.
Wow. My overrated. It is a freaking masterpiece.
That is incredibly difficult to do.
It is. It could change, but
am I there?
We're Here is my favorite album of all time. So,
all right, Jeff Davis, where's your wrench? Hold on.
Am I on this island alone because I might not have to pick a mood setter album?
I see a lot of people picking 3 albums, and none of the 3 are Beatles albums. How come they're not being crapped on like I was?
They are. I'm taking their wrenches right now.
See, I love.
They're all turning them in, Steve. All of them.
Beatles are my favorite band of all time. They are. but I could lay down in bed and listen to and just in my mind think of every single note of every single song. I'm so well versed in them. So I would pick something else, just maybe to snuggle with while I think of Beatles songs.
I know. I was gonna, Byron. This is funny. You should mention that. Matthew Sweet was gonna play where Byron lives, and I was gonna fly out. And hang out with Byron. We were gonna go see Matthew Sweet.
That'd have been something.
But the plane flight prices. And for me to fly from Central Ohio to Omaha, Jesus.
Carol would have really given you the stink eye.
Well, Carol's fine if I do that. I'm going on the 80s.
I know, I'm lucky. Cool. I don't really catch any crap from my wife, thankfully. It's my only vice.
Oh, no. Carol likes to give me crap.
That and too much coffee consumption are my only two vices.
Steve's 3, Smithereens, 11, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Uplift Mojo Party Plan, Red Cross Show World. So he hates those records, your name. I didn't know that. God, Smithereens 11's brilliant.
I've never said anything negative about the Smithereens, except that they took advantage of the CD age and made their albums too long.
Texas Troy, you are welcome. I didn't mean to not give you a wrench, but in case anybody knows why I give wrenches out, I consider everybody here a community, and I love everybody here. I trust everyone, and it keeps me, if you haven't been here before, it's a way that I can keep track, because I love having new blood here, of course.
We haven't heard from Texas Troy 78 in a long time. If I remember correctly, he's a drummer.
I don't remember.
Maybe
Texas
my
Troy
thought
78.
process is.
Does he come on your channel, Steve?
No.
Texas Troy, you're not a Sea of Tranquility guy, are you? I don't remember you.
He's been on your channel before.
He has? Okay.
Yeah. A drummer, if I'm remembering correctly. 100% Fun is a very good album.
No, it's not. You're wrong,
No.
Tim Allen. You're wrong.
Good Lord.
Tim Allen, when you do a 1-year retrospective on the catalog of Matthew Sweet, come talk to me.
Oh, I did remember correctly.
Do you like the Beastie Boys, though?
I don't like the Beastie Boys.
Say you do like them.
I don't like the Beastie Boys.
I don't like negativity.
No, I don't. I'm not saying I hate the Beastie Boys. You know what the Beastie Boys reminds me of? 3 Gilbert Gottfrieds on a record. Oh, did that boy did. That's what.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty astute there, Mr. Schnee.
I am DC. There you go.
Yeah, I remembered correctly. This old brain
Grant and the
works
Mechanics.
every once in a while.
Okay, one of my top 3 albums in an obscure self-titled psych album by the band called Omnibus from Northern New Jersey, originally released in 1970. Gentlemen, you familiar with that release?
No. I have one for you, Pickrus, if that's how you pronounce it. A group called The Aorta, self-titled album. So almost all the tracks have to do with the cardiovascular system, if you can believe that. It's if you put the Doors, the Beatles, and the Beach Boys in a blender and Cream, the band Cream, that's what you would get with The Aorta. It's a fantastic album.
Now your name,
Really.
I think you're just causing issues because I don't think Steve hates Nirvana.
Your name here has been trying to stir the pot.
know
all
why.
Not a Nirvana fan.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a fan, but you appreciate what they did. You can't.
Actually, no. They set music back quite a few years.
How? They saved you from hair metal. Come on.
No, they didn't. They made every great band have to turn their amps up to 11. You listen to the first Dylan Fence album, which is just a pure guitar-fueled pop album. Then Nirvana came along. The second Dylan Fence album, all the guitars were turned up to 11.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. Did you like what they morphed into with Hobex? Did you like Hobex?
I did like Hobex, yes.
I did too. Yeah, it's very funky soul kind of approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you can
that's
hear
right.
that in his voice. back in the day.
Grays.
The
The
Grays.
Grays.
The Grays.
Nothing Between Us by the Grays is
Wow.
a beautiful song.
Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it.
And
We're
it's
just shooting the
Pie
shit at
Chris.
this point.
Pie Chris. I'll remember that.
Pie Chris.
I will remember.
I'll remember. Jeff Davis dislikes. I don't dislike Nirvana. My thoughts on Nirvana is this. I remember I told this story when I first heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit" at that gay club that I was at with my girlfriend, and I forget who all was there, but they were playing all the other
The
shit.
guy
the
from
day.
Soft Cell, was he there with
They
you?
were Mark Allman was dancing with
Yeah.
us, and I forget what they were playing, but they were playing the crap of the day, and all of a sudden,
Oh.
"Smells Like Teen Spirit" came on, and
Dark
the
side
whole
coming down,
vibe
it's
of the
real.
whole club changed. It's like time stopped because it was like one of those things that was fresh and new, and I knew that was the day after I heard that hair metal had died.
You
It
knew
killed
everything was going to change right
I knew
then
it was
and
going
there.
to change,
Yep.
and let's be honest, hair metal got really silly towards the end. Come on.
It did. But I did like their catchiness and some of the stage presence. It did get out
You
of
don't
control,
like
though.
They Might Be Giants?
I like
Little bit
They Might Be
small
Giants.
doses.
I'm not a big fan of the Pixies. But I will say that one of my first phone interviews was with Frank Black when he released his self-titled debut album. Super
Black
nice guy.
Francis? Black
No,
Francis?
this is when
Which
he
one- which
released his
album
first
was
solo
it?
album, whatever his first solo album was.
I thought it was Black Francis.
No, he was under the name Frank Black at that time.
God, I don't
I remember we talked about him.
Yellow cover with he had like a, I don't remember. Jesus, we're going back too far. Every time I put on a Nirvana album,
look,
Kurt
I was
Cobain
never a
yelled at
fan
me.
of. I was never a fan of grunge. Period. There was not one band that came from the grunge era that I actually enjoy.
I don't have a problem with Nirvana, but when I think the third album's much better than Nevermind. Nevermind had a lot of filler on it, so you'd have a decent pop tune. Because I think that they're basically writing pop songs, heavy.
Yeah, I would
But-
agree.
They're pop songs, and you'd have some great songs. Kurt Cobain could write a hell of a song. Great melody, the guitar sounded good. I have no problem with that. But then you'd have a next track which is just noise. That Nevermind could have been cut down to an EP, and it would have been a great EP.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of abandoned that on the second record, and I think that record's great. I think that's a lot better.
I remember going to the Orange County Swap Meet, which is held in Buena Park, and I saw a couple of my friends over there, and they go, "Hey, did you see that Kurt Cobain is over there?" And I knew who Kurt Cobain was because at that point Nirvana had put out the first album on Sub Pop and everything, and but I was like no big deal to me. I wasn't into any of that stuff, and then the following Tuesday is when Nevermind came out. So like 2 days before Nevermind is when he was able to walk around Buena Park record fair or record swap meet. After that, he never would have been able to do that.
Yeah, I always wonder, because think about the whole grunge thing. It's very similar to the first wave of the British invasion in the 60s. Once the Beatles...
Except all the bands sucked.
It's not exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
But, remember they were trying to everybody tried to sign someone that could be their Beatles. It's like everybody was trying to sign somebody that could be their Nirvana. And I've heard interviews. Who's the guy who was in Mudhoney? Somebody was in Mudhoney. I can't remember.
DC Toontime?
Yeah, I think it was DC
That
Toontime.
would
But he
have
was
been
saying
maybe.
that Nirvana, before they made it big, was just a blip on the Seattle music scene.
Yeah.
They weren't anything. People didn't give them two squats And the fact that, whatever Butch Vig did with Nevermind and that Andy Wallace mix job, man, whatever they did, it worked. But they weren't really considered anything serious. Soundgarden was something. All the other Seattle bands were something, but Nirvana wasn't anything.
Well, see, here's my whole thought about the grunge scene. Could not stand any of it, right? But I totally understood why people dug it. So that's why I don't go around and talk about these bands just how I hate stuff, because I understand how people can connect with stuff. People are going to connect with goth bands. People are going to love Christian Death and Bauhaus and any of the other goth bands that I don't have any. There's no connection. I don't hear anything in that music, but I understand why people do.
Well,
and I think that's what's really important. But you're right. Every label needed a Nirvana. Every label needed a Knack. Every label needed a Prince. That's why some of the bands that were already existing, all of a sudden they started to sound like Prince. Because all of a sudden the labels were going, go in and make a Prince album. Yeah.
I wish we had another wave like that, because I don't think we're ever going to have another wave.
I don't think so.
Wasn't the wave, grunge was like the last wave where things changed overnight. We had all those boy bands, remember? And people said, wow, this has been going on quite a bit. We're due for another wave of something. Well, we've never got it. Is it dead? Is pop music dead?
It.
Or is
I
it
think
just...
we got it.
What do you mean?
I think, believe it or not, as homogenized as it was, I believe I'm not too old there. No, I am too old. But I believe that the country music scene took stepped in again.
Rap took the place.
Hold on. The country music scene stepped in, but it was unlike anything that we were listening to in regards to country. If you go back and listen to the modern country, the stuff that's come out in the last 5, 7, 10 years, it's evolved so much that it sounds like the boy bands of the 90s with a twang. So instead of I want it that way, it's more like I want it that way. And it's a totally different thing.
What the fuck?
And
that was
then,
pretty impressive, I must say.
and then with the country, they started incorporating rap. So now you got bro country. So I think that modern country is the new wave, but it's not as pronounced. It's not as dramatic as all the scenes that came before it. But it kind of leveled the playing field. And a lot of the bands that don't play that kind of country, they were coming up number 7, 8, 9, 10 on the charts, where all these other bands with this homogenous country sound were, taking over. So many country artists are selling big now, and pop music, rock music is not.
Well, of two types of music I never thought would cross paths to become one are country and rap. I never saw that coming. My wife's a big modern country fan, so I got to hear a lot of this crap, and it's the same old tropes. Got my whiskey 7 and 7.
Yeah,
they always got to tell you what they're drinking, what vehicle they're driving, and blue-haired girl in blue jean shorts. It's just all the
I love her
tropes.
boots and beer. Boots and beer.
Well, I'd rather listen to country than rap. Okay, Texas Troy is a good question. I'm throwing it out to everybody in the chat. Will rock have a new wave? Will it overtake the current trends? What does everybody here think? I do want to hear from everybody. I don't have any hope.
No young people are practicing their guitars and their drums and their bass like they were post British or Beatles British invasion. I was a little kid at the time. Beatles hit, next day everybody was wanting to play guitar or playing guitar or drums. You don't find any young people nowadays mastering their instruments, well, their musical instruments. No kids sitting there for 3 or 4 hours playing along trying to learn songs, and I just don't see it anymore. I used to laugh at my nieces and nephews because when we were in high school, no one would go to a high school dance unless a live band was playing. Now there are no young people to play those high school dances. They just get a DJ in there to scratch records.
They had DJs when I was in high school at Harding High School in the 80s.
Oh.
They had every Thursday we had a dance called Swinger. Tom Danner's Disco Roadshow would come in and set up shit. We never had any bands. You might have had bands in the 70s.
Oh
yeah, it was a big deal. Spinning vinyl, the lights. We'd all be out there dancing and getting real close and stuff.
We had a fantabulous light and dry ice show with our band.
Christian thinks, I hope so, but it doesn't look good.
It doesn't, Christian.
Starman Brindley. I think it can happen, but it'll be very homogenized subgenre. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's too easy to pull digital riffs and stuff and not do the sweat work of actually playing the songs.
I like you're optimistic, but I don't think so. Rock is dead for the popular set. Well, I like that it's gone down underground, though. I like that, but
yeah, let me throw this at you: is the fact that we're all talking about, is there going to be something that's going to come and take over the charts? Well, guess what? There's so much great stuff out there right now. You can see it on Schnee TV. You can see it, or you can hear. Sure. I'm bringing it back to Schnee TV. So many great bands, but so many other great. My Life Story is a great UK band. They've been around for 30 years. Nobody here knows who the heck they are, but they're amazing. And their guitar. And there's so many great artists doing creative, wonderful things. You just have to look beyond Top 40. You have to look beyond Rolling Stone magazine. You have to turn to all of us, see what we're talking about. Turn to other YouTube channels, see what they're talking about. Unless, of course, they're talking about the Beatles and jazz, and just come watch our channels. Pay attention to your friends. This stuff is out there. There's a lot of crap out there, but there's so much great stuff. Look at Spider Prop Records. Everything on that label is incredible. Look at Big Stir. They have so many different things on that label. What other great modern labels are there? DC. I'm forgetting.
There's a lot to be rediscovered on the vaudeville scene.
Yeah, that's true. No, let me throw this at you with the vaudeville. We make jokes about the vaudeville. You know who is the greatest artist to ever come along that paid such homage to the vaudeville music scene? Was Tiny Tim. This is a guy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s who had such reverence, such love for music from the 20s and 30s that everything he did was trying to bring that music back. Unless, of course, the labels threw him in the studio and had him do a horrible version of "Do You Think I'm Sexy" or anything like that.
He was such a tragically sad character.
Yes,
to me, my heart aches for that guy because he's loved so much what he was doing, and he got shit on a lot, and he seemed to roll with it pretty good. But I just had a bad feeling about it. I felt bad for the guy.
I'm the Tiny Tim of the VC, by the way.
Who is a Leon Redbone? What did he do, though?
See, there's so many artists out there who were so unique and so in their own lane that it hurts to think that more people didn't appreciate what they're doing, and sometimes they don't appreciate it until after that person's gone. That's why love what you love. Don't be ashamed of what you love. Tell people what you love. If you have, Gem Records, another great label.
Thank you, Tim.
If you have a channel, get up and talk about this stuff.
It doesn't end.
Please, your name.
You don't like the Lemonheads either? God darn! I love the Lemonheads. Jesus.
I think he's just throwing this stuff out there.
Where are my
Why
ragtime
is he
homies
stirring
at?
the pot?
I don't know. I guess
Well,
he
we're
hates
trying to keep rock alive, and I think, but there's no who. Wait a minute. Who said? Was it you, Texas Troy? I've got to find it. Well, you mentioned something about rock and selling music. Well, there's no record industry anymore. All you kids out there with the Napsters killed it.
Yep.
And everybody wanted free music, and of course you knew the CDs what killed. The CD.
Can I go on a rant?
Killed the music industry because they thought, oh, look at this. It doesn't pop. It's digital. It's not analog. Oh, once they figured out you could rip a CD, you screwed yourselves.
You're done.
I'm going to go on a rant.
Go ahead.
Okay, the charts. When they judge the charts, they look at streaming. And so many streams of something counts as one sale, right? Why do they even include streaming as a sale? Because when people stream it, it means I like this, but not enough to buy it. So all these people that are streaming music are going like, I like it, but not enough to buy it. Aren't sales based on people that like music and go out and buy it? It's so good that it inspires them to go out and buy it. Yes. So basically, streams should never count because it's people that just say, I'm going to buy this, but not that. I don't like it enough. And
there's too many distractions with young people. Their passion for music isn't what our passion was, because while they're listening to something, they got the computer on, the TV on there, got their phone, they're talking to somebody. It's not the all-encompassing focus and importance in their life like it was for us. I don't see it with younger people I know.
Your
Just
name
don't.
here. Why do we have a vinyl resurgence? That's not. I mean, that's the least convenient medium. Well, maybe 8 tracks, but
I'm into people buying digital downloads. If you want to buy a digital download, please, because you're paying money. The artist does make money off of that.
The bottom line is, if the creatives can't make a living doing this, they're not going to be able to do it, and they're not going to bring the fire. And even though they may love it, when you've got bills hanging over your head and your whole world is financially crumbling down upon you, it's hard to be creative and put out your best stuff. So
Starman's he's a young kid.
He's a youngster, yeah.
Streaming is real-time renting. It is meaningless, and the statistics should have no merit. Starman, you're 100% right.
Agreed.
You need to do something with
Case
your microphone,
closed.
DC.
Is that
DC needs to do something with his microphone.
Yeah,
'cause
there's some
every
kind of
time
noise.
Yeah,
Am I
it's
good
like when
now?
you talk. Okay,
Now do it.
say it again.
something.
am I good now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
It may have been my cat rubbing its head on the
Yep.
microphone.
it's back.
The cat was rubbing its head everywhere. Kids don't care about movies anymore. Well, I can't say that I'm really supporting that industry either. I really shouldn't say anything because I'm buying a lot of this stuff used because I keep going, well, buy it cheap. Well, how do you buy it cheap? The used bins are like a plethora of adventure, you know? I can't help it. I've been doing this since I was like 5 years old. My dad tried to break me. My wife's trying to break me. I can't help it. I love it.
No one will break me from this.
I had no idea how. I didn't know how I was getting money when I was 5 years old. But if I get an allowance, when I got a good grade on my grade card, my mom and dad could go out. You could go buy a Walt Disney record. I thought that was a pretty damn good deal. All I ever did for my birthdays is go buy records when I was first grade, second grade. I was playing records when I was 3 years old. I had one of those Kenner. We all were there if you're in our age group. You had one of those Kenner close and plays. Yep. And you started out like that. And then my parents eventually picked up I guess it was at Woolworths, but they had it there for years. It was a Decca, and it was tube. And it was, just like a record player. and also had a depth button. You could add reverb to your records. So it was checkerboard, and you open it up and it said Decca. And that was my record player for years, and I would sit and play records all day. I can't stop now.
I'm the same way. From when I was 3 or 4,
Yeah.
the little portable record player my parents had in all their 45s, play those suckers. Steve hates Butthole Surfers.
I like that one record's pretty good. The one with got Pepper on it. I like the Butthole Surfers. They're all right.
So far, they've given Steve about a dozen bands that he
Every
hates.
time your name here mentions something, he rubs his head like this. I'm sure it's all in good fun, but
Hopefully no one will show up at the door with their torches and pitchforks.
I like Starman. To put it in proper context, I was born this current century, and I feel very strongly about that. Streaming is nice in theory, but it's not a format.
Yeah.
100%. It's not to be taken seriously. I think it's fine if you want to try something, but by people streaming, you're killing or you've already done it. You've already killed the music industry. Yeah. You've killed it. Thanks, everybody.
My wife, we were listening to that 70 Sirius XM channel last night on a little road trip. And Lionel Richie came on. My wife says, Lionel Richie needs to make a new album. I told her, I said, there's no money in these legacy artists making new music. For what? For to get no airplay and for nobody but the diehards to buy it? It's a money loser for them to put in that kind of effort.
Schnee does like the Residents. Thank God we found something he likes. Gosh.
My God, you guys don't understand just how much I love.
Steve hates Flaming Lips and the Meat Puppets.
You guys don't realize just how much I love. I've got thousands upon thousands of CDs, and he's going through and picking the bands that I don't like.
Russell S., what did you do? Did you do something? What? You didn't do anything.
Steve's got a vast repertoire of music and a real variety of different types of music. You hear the stuff on Ski Lodge, you hear the shows he puts out there with the catalogs of lots of different artists. So you got plenty that he does love. And if you're passionate about music, you're also passionate about what you hate. At least that's how I go.
Dislike.
What you do.
Paul McCartney keeps putting out music, of course, because Paul's a workaholic. And he's a Beatle. And 2, there still is an audience for that. Even though I think the Beatles, I heard there was a thing on FM Rock Radio, because I listened to this morning show, QFM 96.
We Rock Columbus.
You remember that.
Yep.
So they were talking about that the other day. Someone had a clip where someone went around to all these people, random, and they said, can you name 2 of the Beatles? Very few could, these young people. Now, Starman could mention that, and Brian Epstein, and
he'd be able to throw in Stu Sutcliffe
and all of them. But no one could even mention it. Now, can you believe we live in a world where I guess their Generation Z don't even know any of the Beatles? I mean, at least my son and daughter, I've done something in my life that they know who the Beatles are. Mm-hmm. And I just was surprised.
I got one niece that's pretty astute on music from that era, which she was not even a twinkling in her dad's eye at the time. But
I still want to know what Russell S. did that.
I'm sorry.
What he did wrong.
Why don't you highlight what is it? Is it Al Volume 57 or whatever?
Al Volume 57.
My eyes aren't very good. I know. Comes on my channel too.
I don't know.
It says here, but isn't streaming like the new radio? Oh, it's gone now.
Listen to this. After watching the Contrarians talk about Queen's The Game album, I streamed it, I loved it, and bought the vinyl. Hey, I hosted that show. I don't have a problem with the game.
Look at the one right above it, the question, by the way.
The game is where the cracks started to form. That's all I'm saying. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But isn't streaming like the new radio? If you hear some music, won't it inspire you to buy it?
In theory, that should be the case. That's why at the very beginning when streaming first started happening, I thought this is fantastic because you can go up and you can hear the new Natalie Merchant album or, whatever you were listening to at the time. And you can go yeah, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and get it. Right. If you didn't like it, you just moved on. And then you listen to the new Terry DeSario album. And then, I could care less about that. Why? I don't know why I chose Terry DeSario. But
it was like the Lady Bird Johnson
I know,
reference.
exactly. And
what the fuck? Lady Bird Johnson and nipple twisters.
Where is that?
So anyway.
Oh, Brian, there are cracks.
Anyway, so in theory, I think that's a great thing. If you have a choice and you're trying to decide between buying the Dave Edmunds or the Vince Guaraldi, you only have enough to buy one. You go listen to both of them and you say, you know what? I like the Dave Edmunds more. I like the Vince Guaraldi more. Then you go out and buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, I thought that's great in theory. But then I started realizing that all of my friends who were buying records and CDs with me, a lot of them were saying, I don't need to buy music anymore. I can just stream it. And it's like, then all of a sudden it became the fact that people stopped buying physical product. Yeah. So in theory, the whole concept of test driving an album online worked great. I think that streaming would be more like radio if an artist would release an album and they'd only make the singles available to stream online. And so every time that you wanted to go out, you wanted to hear something from the new, I don't know, whoever, the new Piazzadora album, you'd only be able to stream the 3 songs that she had released as singles. And then if you wanted to hear the rest, you'd have to buy it. So
Lady Bird.
That's
Lady
probably when it
Bird.
All right, everybody.
Someone threw out one reference I gotta address.
All right, and then we'll
somebody asked if anyone knew Tudor Turtle. Yeah, I do. He was that cartoon turtle. Fricker, fracker, freaker, from. Fun for this one to come home. He always wanted to be like, I will be an astronaut. And it never worked out. And Mr. Wizard would send it back to reality. Yep.
Well, at least we can end it on a
joyous note, an upbeat, cartoony note.
I don't want to bring people down, but it does frustrate me. You know? And hopefully with our channels, at least with what Schnee and I are doing, what we do on the Contrarians, obviously Sea of Tranquility.
Which I've never, they got to rename it at least one time, Schnee of Tranquility, and have me on.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully by look, there's so much great music out there that needs to be discovered.
There is.
And whether Schnee is doing it on Schnee TV with new bands, or we're talking about old bands here. We're all in community. We all love music, and at least we have a place we can go and talk this stuff and hang out. So keep buying, keep collecting, keep the music.
Do what you love. Listen to, bring what you love to the table. You know, if you're into The Hunt, if you're into Witchfind, if you're into Tudor Turtle, if you're into any of this stuff, bring it to the table. Don't ever feel like, oh, well, God, no, you know, I'm going to be embarrassed to let people know that I like that stuff, because in this context, you are not going to be turned away because of the band you like or the bands that you don't like. On my channel, you can come on and you can say, you know what, I don't care for that group. I mean, the thing is it's okay. Opinions are opinions, and we all have them. That's the thing. It's when we start to realize that, or I mean, when we think that our opinions are facts, that's, I think, really when things fall apart. I embrace opinions. I embrace everybody's great, wonderful taste in music. You know. Good Lord.
That's going to be Schnee's his new every 2 weeks. What Schnee hates. All right, this week we'll do the lemon heads, and we're going to talk lemon heads, meat puppets,
and your name
the
here.
Flaming, and your name, and the Flaming Jesus Brothers or something, whatever.
Yeah.
Also check out Ski Lodge. All right, so
Ski Lodge live tomorrow
night.
Yep.
Starman, this has been fab. I appreciate everybody for coming on. Please check out Schnee TV. Links down below. Tomorrow night, DC will be back. We will be live. Larry Graves is coming on. We will be, I think, what time are we doing that? 7 or 8? 8?
7.
Or 8.
Is it 7? Your time.
No,
7
I've got
your
Contrarians
time.
tomorrow too. So
okay, it's 8. It's 7
8.
my
We will
time.
be live back in the warehouse. We will be talking on time. The first Grand Funk album.
The debut.
The debut.
If
So
you
we will
will.
be live. Come back, talk about it. We'll see. Does Grant like it?
Grand Funk Off.
Always so negative. Schnee, we like
I
positive.
want my
This
baby
isn't-
back, baby
He
back,
don't
baby
like
back, baby. I
Grand
want my
Funk
baby
We
back,
don't
baby
like
back,
negative here in the warehouse. Schnee was giving me shit the other night because I don't like Beatle covers. Thought I was being negative. Kind of
No. It's fine that you don't like Beatle
tore
covers.
my ass open right in front of everybody.
No, it's fine that you don't like Beatle covers, but the way that you come on to Ski Lodge, which is a very, very welcoming, loving community, seriously,
Same with the
and then you
Warehouse.
come on and you just shit all over it.
Well,
That's because it's horrible.
speaking of tearing your ass open, at the end of last night's show, you guys were talking about colonoscopies.
Yeah.
And I said, I had one, but when I woke up, I found a cigarette in my underpants, so I'm done with it.
What? What are you talking
I think we're
about,
done.
DC? Oh
I gotta go
my
upstairs
God.
and get beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. It was nice seeing everybody.
Grant, thank you so much.
It was
DC, thank
fun.
you so much.
It's always
All
I
right,
think
fun.
Steve.
I thank everybody for the support and all the work behind the scenes for Schnee TV, Ski Lodge, and Grant's Rock Warehouse.
All right, we'll see you. Have a good one. I
night,
think
all.
we'll
Good
be
night.
doing live every night this week, damn near. Shit. All right,
Just
see you, everybody.
about.
Goodbye. Have a good one.